but my objective is better and better material facilities. I want to progress better. But that's actually still feeding the disease. Because even Krishna admits in Bhagavad Gita that from the highest material planet down to the lowest, one thing is in common. You still have to undergo temporary suffering. Dukkalayam ashaspatam. There is no real, permanent happiness to be found in this material existence. It's not designed that way. But we settle for temporary happiness and distress. So pravritti marg, yes, most people are executing pravritti marg, regardless of the religion. Most people, they are performing religious rites. Why? They want to improve their material life. But then there's this other marg or path. Nivritti means I want to come to the healthy stage. I want to walk the path of liberation. I want to gain release from this material existence, so that after this life, I can return home back to Godhead and live with Krishna. So, Navritta Tarshain, Parikshit Maharaj says that there is something called a taste or a lust for material enjoyment. That's there in this material world. We all have it to a lesser or greater degree. So, Parikshit is telling his guru what he has learned. That actually, if I want to actually relish these topics of Krishna, Krishna Katha, then I have to become released from materialistic, lusty activities. After all, Parikshit only has 7 days to finish up his business. Parikshit has already learned in the first 9 cantos that if he still has material body, material desires, he has to come back and take birth again. He understands, because he learned that. Shukadev is very thorough doctor. He's a spiritual doctor. And he's been teaching Parikshit. Parikshit, like Prabhupada used to tell us, his disciples, even you have a pinch of desire for rasgula, you got to come back and take birth again. You have to become free from all kinds, as it says here, tarshai or trishna, a thirst for sense gratification. So, this Srimad Bhagavatam or Krishna Katha is the medicine to cure that lusty material hankering. That's why devotees who are serious, they read Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam because they want to get to the healthy state. It's just like this. You have a balance. One side goes up, the other side has to come down. They can't both go up. When it's on a balance or a swing, a teeter-totter, one goes up, one goes down. So, in order to rise to that spiritual platform, liberation, the material activities, the material thirst has to go down. You have a fever, right? You have to bring the fever down so that you're nice 98.6 or what, I don't know what the new, okay, whatever it is. But when it gets 100, 203, it's serious, right? I think death is 105, is that correct? What's that? 107. Oh, yes, 107. Okay. Anyway, you want to bring the fever down. So this Trishna, or desire for material enjoyment, is like a fever. So this medicine, Oshadi, brings that material fever down simply by hearing and chanting the glories of Krishna. The process has been made so simple in this Kali Yuga. It's been made so simple. In previous ages, like in Satya Yuga, you had to do meditation for thousands of years before you could realize God. Or in the next age, Treta Yuga, you had to perform costly sacrifices, very costly, with utensils made of gold. Yes. And you had to have expert brahmanas, purohits, who knew how to chant the mantras perfectly and knew all the procedures. Then, in the next stage, Dwarapara Yuga, the method was gorgeous worship of the deity. You should be very happy. Here, your temple, your deities are worshipped. Very nice. Very, very nice. And we should bring our worship up to A status. Like, you see the restaurants. You don't go to C or D restaurants. Why? Because the kitchen is not clean. You look for the restaurant A. Then you're not going to get sick. So similarly, the goal is to bring the standard of worship so we get A rating. That's our goal. Now, more nice words in this shloka. Srotra mana abhiramat. We learn from the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, you know what is your main enemy? It's not the Democrats or the Republicans or Russia. No. Our main enemy is the mind. That's the real enemy. The mind, Krishna says, if your mind is under control, your mind becomes your best friend. But if the mind is not controlled, Krishna uses a word, ripu, enemy. An uncontrolled mind is your greatest enemy. Prahlad, there's the picture of Prahlad and Nisringa and Hiranyakashipu. Prahlad told his father, my dear father, you think Vishnu is your enemy? No. Your real enemy is your uncontrolled mind and senses, my dear father. He told him very, very gently, but at the same time, straight. 5-year-old boy. That's your real enemy, my father. He called him Asura, I forget the word, the best of the demons. So, this hearing of the, as it says here, abhiramat, pleasing glorification of Krishna. This refers to something that in the 3rd canto, Kapil Dev spoke to his mother Devahuti. Kapil Dev said that topics about me, because Kapil Dev is God, he's an incarnation of Krishna. So he's instructing his mother, topics about me are very pleasing to the heart, to the ear. Very, very pleasing. And when does it become very relishable? In the society of devotees. I see tonight we have very nice full house. That's good. That means I guess I'm doing my job. But when there's more devotees hearing and chanting, then it becomes even more sweeter. It becomes more relishable. Because, as I said at the beginning, you're here because you're free from envy. If you were not free from envy, you wouldn't walk through the door. But you're here, this tells me, I'm with devotees who are free from envy. Therefore, I can speak on these topics. I can't go to some club in Las Vegas and start speaking about Srimad Bhagavatam. They'll kick me down the street because they're not free from envy. They don't want to hear. But here we have nice atmosphere. You can hear the tambura. You can hear? Sets a nice, peaceful atmosphere. Also calms me down. Yes, very important. So, the process has been made, I was mentioning, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Dwapara Yuga. But in Kali, the process has been made simple. Hear and chant. Can it be any easier? Just hear and chant the glories of Krishna. Or say you like Ram. Okay, no problem. Hey Ram, hey Ram. Everybody. Just hear the glories of God. And the more you hear, you will get a different kind of thirst. As opposed to the material, lusty thirst, it will be replaced with a spiritual thirst. And that spiritual thirst will enliven and enthuse you. For instance, before you came from practically 5 o'clock till 6, I was doing kirtan. And that's why I'm so fired up right now. If you do long periods of hearing and chanting, you will feel nice, soothing vibration. It will calm you down. So now, we come to the last line. Now, Maharaj Parikshit, as I said at the beginning, Parikshit is revealing to his guru what he has realized so far. He has heard 8, 9 cantos of Bhagavatam. Now the 10th is beginning. He's about to hear, because at the end of the 9th canto, Shukadev said, now I'm going to explain everything about Krishna himself. In the previous cantos, he described many avatars: Vamana, Nisringa, Varaha, Matsya, Kurma, Ram, Parashuram. So many incarnations are explained in the first 9 cantos. So Parikshit is revealing now, I'm going to hear about Krishna. So he says, yes, now there is only one person who will not be able to appreciate Krishna Katha. There's only one person. What is that person? Pashugnat. Pashugnat has 2 meanings. One, the animal killer, the butcher. Those who are directly engaged in killing animals, they will not have any interest or any desire to spend time hearing and chanting. There is the story of Narada Muni. He saw a hunter. His name was Mrigari, enemy of the animals. That was his name. And his father had taught him how to kill animals half so that they suffer more. And they spend hours gasping until they... So Narada appeared, and this hunter Mrigari became amazed at Narada's potency, because what did Narada do? He released all the half-dead animals. He has that potency. Narada is sometimes addressed Bhagavan. He has all powers, empowered by Krishna. So when Mragari saw, he said, "Why did you let them go? I'm enjoying this, what I was taught from my father." And Narada said, "You don't realize." And he showed him, "Here is what's going to happen to you in your next life." And he saw that he was going to go to hell. And all the animals that he killed were going to come and kill him, one after the other for thousands of lifetimes. So Mragari freaked out. "Oh, I don't want that." So Mragari said, "How can I become free?" So Narada said, "Break your bow." "Break my bow? How am I going to eat?" Narada said, "I will take care of that. You break your bow and you follow this bhakti." He taught him how to chant. Narada taught Dhruva how to chant. I mentioned Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. In 6 months, the Lord appeared to Dhruva. That's real chanting. I've been chanting for 40 years. Krishna still has not come. So there's a difference between Dhruva's chanting and my chanting. So he told Mragari, "You engage in this chanting and you broke in your bow. Why do you have to break the bow?" Meaning you have to give up sinful life. In his case, he had to give up killing animals because the animal killer will not be able to relish these nice topics of Krishna Katha. But then there's the other Pashugnat. The other Pashugnat is the person who is deliberately neglecting spiritual life.